Right, I've put it off long enough. It's time to deal with the Amiga 500. And boy, am I looking forward to that. My name is Jess B. This is my tech department. Los geht? Say hello to what is possibly the worst Amiga A500 you will ever see. I purchased this at a retro bursa for just €50, and yeah, the only thing I'm certain of is I'm certain this does not work. The keys on the keyboard not only need retro brighting, they're orange. There's no two ways about it, they're orange. The picture here doesn't do them justice, but they're unbelievably worn out. In fact, they're so bad, I thought this had been in the home of a smoker, but no, they've just yellowed to the point of orange. It's unbelievable. The case is tired, broken, and filthy, frankly. It'll need retro brighting, along with everything else. Dirt is everywhere. And as I say, the only thing I know for certain is that this does not work. Because look at it, how could it? And yet amusingly, you might note there that the original plastic is still on the Commodore symbol. So this is going to be fun. Amigas are wonderful machines, but they do have one Achilles heel, and that is the memory expansion usually found in this trapdoor. For A500s, there's a battery on board that controls the real-time clock. And do you know what that battery really likes to do if you leave it alone? Explode. This is the back of the memory module, and there's the front of it, and oh dear. I mean, those pins shouldn't be green, the battery shouldn't be rusty, and weirdly enough, I'm not sure this is the one that came with this machine, if I'm honest, because it actually doesn't look too bad. Let's get the case off and see if there's been any leakage inside. The Amiga case is held together with just 6 screws, and what absolutely amused me while I was taking this apart is that warranty sticker there in bright yellow. It's not the original warranty sticker, and it's also been broken. So this is the 3rd or 4th time possibly this machine has been apart. Oh dear, what have I done? As the lid comes off, I'm not surprised to discover rust. Lots of rust. Taking the keyboard out of the way, we can see, well, not a lot actually. So let's get this RF shield out of the way. At least we know it's original, right? Oh, that's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. That is very, very crusty. And yeah, oh god, what the hell is that? That something's died. Something's died! Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh god, and I'm kind of regretting my purchase, but I love Amigas. I really do. Okay, let's get this shield off, and let's see if we can actually work out what's going on. As you can imagine, it's a little stuck in places. Come on, work it out. See, I missed a screw. That's the issue. Next up, I have to, of course, remove this drive. There goes the floppy drive. I wonder if that even works, because I'm genuinely not confident with this machine. Removing the shield is a fiddly endeavor, but with it prying with a screwdriver, we do actually get it off, and there it is, the Amiga 500. Oh god. There is the telltale signs of a battery explosion. I'm not going to lie to you, this is bad. As we wander around the board, slightly out of focus, which is the best way to deal with this at the moment so you don't see the incredible details that I can see just off camera. Remarkably, the custom chips look good, and for the most part, most of the board looks good. And then we reach the audio filter area. So we're lucky enough this is a Rev 6A. This is a very common board, thank goodness, and I'll explain why later. But yeah, you can see the damage, the pitting. There are tracks missing. You can tell there are going to be tracks missing. The fact that the connector is completely green when it shouldn't be should be a warning. And yeah, this is a nightmare, plain and simple. Now, the problem is, if the top of the board looks this good, I can only imagine how good the back of the board looks. So let's get the rest of this RF shield out and let's turn it over and hope for the best. Fingers crossed now. The back of the board reveals, well, just horror, plain unadulterated horror. Yes, most of the tracks and everything's in fine form, but around the chip memory and the audio circuitry, it's a disaster zone. There are going to be broken traces. It's just, I mean, look at it, it's crystallized. Okay, look, the truth is, this is already beyond the scope of what I'm able to repair. So I'm already thinking to myself, the best way forward here is to get a replacement board. They're easy to come by and hope that our custom chips are okay. I mean, I won't throw the board away. We may be able to fix it in the future, but right now it is beyond my skills. So let's get rid of our old board and let's change it out for another Rev 6A that is in, let's say, better condition. And here it is. This cost me just 48 euros, sorry. So yeah, I've already paid the replacement cost of the Amiga in the first place. And so what? What I need to do is recap this board. So Amiga Store EU, we've got ourselves some caps and away to go. Now for this video, I actually bought myself a little soldering iron that had a built-in desoldering gun. You can see it, it's kind of cool, looks great. It's not, it's rubbish, absolutely terrible. The problem is that is a 30 watt iron, and as I've discovered after this video, it's not powerful enough to deal with ground planes. Nevertheless, I actually did manage with some care, with some perseverance, to recap the entire board piece by piece, and I did it by doing one capacitor at a time. Remove it, replace it with like for like, and then move on to the next one. For some reason I thought I want to put some more flux on this to help it flow. Some days. As the recapping goes on, it's just a matter of, as I say, carefully removing the old cap, replacing it with a new cap before moving on to the next one. With the capping complete, it's now time to swap out those custom chips from our old board. So let's bring it back in. Give it a big round of applause, people. Yes, this is our donor board now, and we're going to take all those custom chips out, including the Fat Agnes, but we don't need the Fat Agnes. Fortunately for the Amiga, all the custom chips, including the CPU, is socketed, and I'm going to use this absolutely horrible cheapo chip puller to remove the chips. Seriously, don't buy these chip pullers, they're useless. You're likely to do more harm to your chips and, frankly, more harm to yourself. If this thing slips, you can guarantee it'll stab you in the arm. Not that I would know, but it will. Replacing the chips went well, and then we're ready to power on, and look, we have a red light on our keyboard, so that's good. At least the keyboard has a power light that works. But what do we get on the screen? It's exciting times. Is it going to boot up? Are we going to see our Kickstart screen? No, it does not. In fact, we have no display whatsoever. I check a few things, and then we actually do get a bit of a red flash, and then we're into this. And this does nothing. Yeah, this is just a gray, light gray or off-white screen. It signifies something, but not everything. I checked the chips, and actually I discovered the problem is something unexpected. If you take a close look at our fat Agnes, you'll see that she's actually sitting a bit further up in the socket than when we started. Actually, what had happened, the previous owner of this board had just pushed her straight down into the socket, and well, it just didn't work. It was stuck. Very gently, I used a chip puller to just get that up out of the way, and yeah, we sprang to life. I'm not gonna lie, I made such a happy face when I saw that little Kickstart 1.3 appear on the screen, and then I started scrambling around for software. As it happens, I only have 2 discs here for the Amiga, one of which is Sensible Soccer that requires a 1 megabyte machine, and since we're operating without our chip memory, well, I had to guess and grab something else. So I got the wonderful A320 simulator. Now, my background is in flight simulation, and this is actually one of the games I never got to play. So the fact that it loads up is just making me so excited to actually have a go of the one A320 I've not flown. So yeah, how cool is that? The other thing I'd actually forgotten is how cool the Amiga sounded. It has such a unique sound to it that just typifies that 1990s music sound that, oh, it just takes me back to being 16 again. It's wonderful. Well, that was unexpected, wasn't it? I did not think we were going to get to the point where we could actually see a Kickstart boot screen, let alone get to the point where we were able to load software. That old floppy drive actually really surprised me. It works. At least something does on this machine. Now, it was a real shame that I had to change that main board out, but I simply don't have the skill right now to deal with that level of battery bombedness. I'm patting that battery bombedness, okay? However, we were able to recap the new board, and all the custom chips from our original board work, which is a relief. In fact, the only issue we had was with the fat Agnes on the replacement board, and that was simply because the previous owner had pushed it down too far. A little jiggery pokery here and there, and the machine is now working perfectly. Of course, that's not the end of the story, is it? I still have to deal with that terrible case and those awful, awful keys on the keyboard. That's going to be fun. But that is a problem for future Jess. In the meantime, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a like, share and subscribe if you'd be so kind. I'd be really grateful. I really would. And if you're interested, we have a Patreon. But that's neither here nor there. All that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. And yeah, if you like old computers, remember to reuse, reconnect and rediscover, because you never know. You might find something fun, like an old Amiga 500. In better condition than mine, I hope. Cheers!